I have been tagged by the lovely Never Hopeless by Elizabeth to do the Glue Book 2020 questions, which is such an honor because glue booking is just so who I am, just gluing things to other things. As Shannon Green says, you just glue things to other things and it makes me happy. That's the only reason. So, I've noticed that I've had a lot of new subscribers, probably thanks to the tag from Elizabeth. So I want to welcome all of you to my crazy channel. My craft space is shared with my daughter's bedroom, so my children are often in here and making noise. So that's number one. Number two, I like to think that once in a while I have a good idea, so I like to share that with you. And once in a while, I have a crazy idea in my head and I want to experiment with you. So that's pretty much what I use my channel for. But we will get started with glue booking. The first question is, how many glue books or magazine journals do you have? And honestly, oh my God. I have a whole bunch, first of all, that I don't even have right here with me. This one is one I just recently started, which is, I'm calling it, hold on, let me move my pile of crap. This is what I'm calling the squares, because I'm putting a whole bunch of square pictures in here. So you saw it here first, the debut of the squares. And I'm throwing some paint down, excess paint by number paint. Don't judge me. I like paint by numbers. I find them to be relaxing. So this is my most recent one, but I have a magazine journal. I have a hurricane glue book, which is one that I did during a hurricane a few years ago. So for 4 days straight, I sat here and I just glued. I have the Beast, which you will see in other videos. I did a whole bunch of videos of gluing things in the Beast. I will try to put a link below of the Beast in its natural habitat, if I can remember. I have my squares. I have my background journals that I made videos on. Oh, I can't open the drawer. That's how heavy this drawer is. Let me see if I can find one. Which I cannot. Ooh, I know where they are. So this here is a background glue book where I took large images that I liked the whole page and I glued other things around it, or I painted or whatever. So, like this, type of stuff. Hold on, let me move up a little here because it's like really hard for you to see everything. It's really hard for you to get into this whole mess. So these are composition books, and I have 2 of them in the process right now. I have this one and I have one other one. I also have vacation glue books. Doesn't necessarily mean that I glued about my vacation. It meant that I found something, a book or a composition book, and while I was on vacation, I glued in it. And it doesn't necessarily have to do with my vacation at all. And what I mean by vacation is when we make the 800-mile trek to New England. That's our vacation. I have art journals that I also glue in. I have a color. All my pages are a different color. I don't think I made any videos of that, but I will do a flip through of long forgotten glue books that I have. I also have a coffee book that I had started, and I got to work on that some more too. I have some more stuff to put in there, and I'm trying to think of what else. I have tons. I mean, I just have tons of glue books that I work in pretty much all the time. I think I said the napkin. I get the napkin book. I have tons of them. So, which brings us to which book is my favorite. I don't think I really have a favorite. My most monumental one, which takes place after Shannon Green's Big Bertha is my Beast, which is huge. It's so big, it takes up half of a shelf on its own. It is gigantic. I mean, I was like, I have to put this thing in storage, but then I'm like, how am I going to store it? It's, you know, the size of my house. So it's definitely my most monumental glue book, but I'll tell you what, that much gluage. Ooh, I have a scavenger hunt book too that I haven't debuted yet. So that's another glue book that I have. But anyway, back to the Beast. I wouldn't say it's my favorite because I got super sick of it at the end. I was like, I just want to finish this thing up and get it off my desk. It took up way too much space. So I did. I finished it and I put it on a shelf. But my favorite ones are like whichever ones I'm working in that day. So like I really enjoy this square one, which is just an encyclopedia, and I go into, which, you know, this isn't about altering books, so I'm just going to give you a quick rundown. I go into the middle of each signature and I rip out a bunch of pages, and then I glue. This one I just glued 2 pages together because I was just going to paint and glue some stuff. It wasn't going to be, you know, crazy mixed media art. But yeah, like I really have some ideas for this one. So, you know, this is the one I've been working in most recently, and I've been enjoying it. Which page is my favorite? I don't know. Like, they're all my favorite. I like all the pages. No, there's some I really like, I really dislike. But I feel like once I get in the zone, because when I'm gluing, I don't just do one page. I'm a jumper. I go from page to page to page, and I find something and I say, oh, I'll put it on this page, and then I go back and I'll put something on this page. So I jump around a lot. That's where I differ with this one, because I'm really trying to do a spread. You know, I'm trying to do a one setup here. But I definitely don't have a favorite page. So I really do. I find something with my glue books, it's all of, they're all images and they're all things that I like and that I enjoy. My favorite magazines to harvest are anything that's free, first and foremost. Free magazines, I know that you've heard this on just about everybody else's channel. You have Recycle Bank, which is available in the United States. I get Food Network from them. I get Elle Decor, which is one of my favorites. I get Elle, which is another favorite. I get Oprah, which has some nice pictures. I get Country Living, which I love to read. Food and Wine. Garden and Gun has some great paper. Oprah again. This is one I subscribe to. I subscribe to 2 through my daughter's Girl Scouts. And I subscribe to this because this has the best pictures in it. Oh my god. So I paid way too much money to subscribe to it, because come to find out it's way cheaper elsewhere. But I was trying to support the Girl Scouts, and I subscribed to this one. I may or may not subscribe to some stamping tins. That might be a Christmas gift that I do for myself. I have not yet decided. Oh, this was a book I got as a free sample too last winter, and I wanted to read it before I harvested it, but I just found it stuffed underneath a bunch of stamps. So that tells you how much reading of it I did. But anyway, these are all ones like that I haven't even gone through yet. So I like them free. I love National Geographics. Recently, like a year and a half ago, I came across 40 years worth of National Geographic magazines for free. So I've slowly been pecking away at those. And when I say slowly, I mean slowly, because there are things that I want to keep out of each magazine, and I'm iffy to throw anything out, because I had the chance. I had come across a bunch of 70s National Geographic magazines once before in my life, and I ended up throwing out a whole bunch of things that I now enjoy using in my glue books. So I'm like hoarding them in a way. But I do go through them. I do take time every once in a while to go through them. And I also, the small town thrift stores, Goodwill charges way too much money for their magazines, I'm sorry. But Salvation Army is usually pretty good. I can usually get them $0.25 a piece or 50 cents a piece there. Your small town thrift shops, your church thrift shops, a lot of times have free magazines or close to free. I like any magazine that is vintage. I love ads from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. I love ads from the 20s and 30s. I love old magazines. So, you know, those are other outlets that I have. And I haven't tried my local library, but I do know a lot of local libraries have them for free or close to free. How do you store your images? Okay, so this is where you're going to want to sit down. I'll wait and let you get a cup of coffee, because this is where things get interesting. I have numerous ways of organizing images, and for some reason all of them work for me. As of right now, my words are all in this bucket here. As you can see, I have all my paint by number paints that I was using in my square journal, because for some reason, I don't know why, but this just fits on here nicely. And then I had all the paint surrounding it, so that's how I did that. So that's that. Okay, those are my words. I'm going through my words. I'm trying to be more wordy, okay? I also have this binder, which is huge. It was an insurance binder from my husband's company many moons ago. So it is gigantic. I mean, I bet you this binder is about 15 pounds. So I have this binder. I'm sorry, there's about to be a craft avalanche. Yeah. You know, there just isn't enough room. Just isn't enough room for all of this crafting. So I'm not a fond believer of the sheet protectors. Here, let's angle you a little bit so you can see where I'm at here. Let's try and flip this down and slide this over. I am not necessarily a huge fan of sheet protectors, so don't quote me on this. But I do find that when I get on a roll with something, I like to be able to take these out. So like this is picks I like. No rhyme or reason, just picks I like. Transportation, boats, planes, trains, and automobiles. Medium-sized animals. Large animal pictures. Things that are large. Things that are medium. Animals that are small. Large people. Watches. Little people. Legs. Medium people. Large people. Small people. Large ocean. Animals. Large people. Lots of large people. Heads. Male heads. And skulls. Body parts. This is things I would use as body parts. I don't necessarily, like, I would totally put that on someone's body. And I would totally use that as someone's body. Okay? My video quality might be affected. My device is hot. This came from an Egyptian book that I had, so I put it all in one. That's where it's good, is if you have a book that you harvest that is all one thing, that's where it comes in handy to use these. Mid bodies that I would use. Full page animals. And this guy that's in like short shorts. Focal images that would take up half a page. Focal images in black and white. Focal images that are people. That's huge, by the way. It's fat. More people. Full-size focal images. And I do not consider a lot of the illustrated people to be people. I consider them to be illustrations. Full focals. These are fonts that I printed out. You can download a bunch of fonts. Trust me, if an idiot like me can figure it out, anybody can figure it out. And then you can print them off. These are backgrounds for like collaging on top of. Roman, this came all out of one book again. This is Roman Part 2. These are borders. Patterns. More patterns. Again, this is for a journal idea that I might have. I might do a pattern journal where everything is, you know, or an en masse maybe is what I'd rather call it. I don't know what I'd call it, but it just catches my eye when I'm harvesting a magazine. So these work for certain things, and I am constantly going in and out. Now this is like, I have like 2 or 3 binders like this. It's hard to find huge binders, and I really would rather a giant binder so I can just take one and use stuff out of one instead of having multiple, you know, little binders with, you know, 400 little things in there. So this is like my 3rd or my 2nd or 3rd large binder. I don't know. I don't know. Whoa! Earthquake! That's not funny. We had an earthquake here. So that is one way. The second way is I have gotten these buckets, right? Now this is all of my unharvested. This is called snapware, okay? Can't get it all in frame because like my foam thing. Let's see if I can get you up high enough here. Let's see if we can get high. Okay. All right. So this is called snapware. You're gonna droop down on me, aren't you? All right. Let's see. Okay. So this is called snapware. Okay. I have this, and I have a few small ones that I picked up at thrift stores, and then I have a large set of 4 that I bought, which what I mean by large is large sized. And most of these I have organized in here by size, and I use my hand as a scale. Okay, if it's smaller than my knuckle up, it goes into my smalls. If it is the size from here to here, it goes in the next one. If it's the size of my whole hand, the next one, and then bigger ones go below. And these are the ones that I have not fussy cutted. In my one that contains large images, I have all my patterns. And by patterns, I mean, let's pull out a magazine and find some patterns. You know who has good patterns? Fashion. This is a pattern. Okay. This pattern, nice tree. That's a nice pattern. Okay. Blurry backgrounds make a nice pattern. Shoulder floof, nice pattern, and the shoulder floof. Okay. Stone, nice pattern. Making sure I'm still in frame here. You know, you could use the tree right here, pattern. I like this image, but you can use the sky as a pattern. Hair makes a pattern. And I mean, I'm sorry, not a pattern, a texture, a background, a texture piece. Ooh, I love these ones with the water texture. Why did I say pattern? You know, it's because I'm tired today. We were outside working on the mower, and the humidity is like 47,000%. Okay, so you get the point, though. I have textures and background pieces. Okay. I have my fussy cut book. One thing to never underestimate when you're journaling is project containers. These are 12 by 12 scrapbook containers that I got from Sam's Club, and it was like 13 or 14 bucks for a set of 4. I have my fall journal set up with one. It's not quite big enough, but I'm hoping this year I'll get rid of a bunch of fall stuff in the fall journal, which I'm using a 1972 planner. These are fussy cut words. I'm trying to use up words. I don't have my phrases all organized like some people, and I wish I did, but I don't. They're all just sitting in that bucket that I showed you. So these are ones that I've taken out of there and I fussy cut. This is my ephemera holder. I made a video on this. I put my fussy cut images in here. Let's see. Yep, you can see. So I try to organize them a little bit, you know, and I made little sleeves. This may look like chaos to you, but it is very much in line for me. So I try to do it a little bit by size, okay? But I have all these different depths and size pockets. Like my square journal, I'm working out all these. These are all my squares, okay? I have 2 sections of squares. Here's some more. Some more, a giant nose, because everybody needs a giant nose. All right. This, they do slide, some of them will slide out, but for the most part, they pretty much stay put. I'm pretty fortunate in the aspect that they stay put. These, what I used is cardstock, and I glued all 3 sides down. I didn't make much of a gusset, you know. I don't know if gusset. Is gusset the right word? So more stuff. This is like my real itty bitties. See them? Really itty bitty things. Okay. These are, oh, I had cut out, I went on a fussy cutting spree and I cut out a gazillion images. Too many to fit in here, but lucky I have another one. I have another one of these made. So, oh my goodness. And then when you come to the back, you're in people territory. This is all my people, the things I could use as body parts, the things I could use as people, even some illustrated people, even if they're not whole people and they've been cut off. This is all related to people. So, I use this. And like I said, I have another one. These are file folders. And the way that it's bound, you can bind it however you want. I don't recommend doing it the way I did, which is just screw it all up and then try and fix it later. I made hinges. These are all of these individual folders, which are still folders, I then hinged together, which work part-time. So I don't recommend doing it this way. I recommend like actually binding them in some way. And then these are all pages that I just left in here as random pages possibly to use in a project without having to go digging through a big bucket someplace. All right. What started me was I had all those for my napkin journal to use some of them in my napkin journal. So, are your brains fried yet? Because mine is. I used to keep a lot of themed folders in a file, one of those file boxes, and I still do have one. And in it are themed books, like this belongs there. I just put the box away before this all came from a font, like a clip art book, kids images. So I have this, I have like vintage dinosaur pictures, some botanical stuff. These are something that I have to put away. They go to, I don't know if this was, I plan on making a house journal. I don't know if that's what this is for. These are just a whole bunch of pictures that I clipped together. I have no clue what they're for. I have no clue. Maybe it's textures. I just don't know. I just don't know what I was going to do with these. So I'll have to go through them again, I guess. The next question is, do you have themed books? Well, I pretty much told you. If my fall, I have 2 big Christmas books. Do I have 2 or 3? I don't remember. But I do have a playlist of my Christmas collection journal, and all of my videos for the Christmas journals that I've made are in there, so you can go and count them if you'd like. I think I have only 2, but I stored that. I store all my Christmas stuff elsewhere because I don't have the room in here. Do you have plans to start a new book? What size or theme? I'm always starting new books. I try to stay I try to work through some things before I start a new book instead of just starting one every 5 minutes. I don't necessarily, I have the house journal idea. That's been in the works for a long time. I've been wanting to glue things that I like from different decor magazines. Just like dream house type stuff. But other than that, there's nothing really in the works right now in my brain. But who's to say, that could change tomorrow. I told you where I get my magazines. That was the next question. Where do you get your magazine? My favorite glue. All right. With me, it is a constant love-hate thing with glue. Let's talk about glue. These glue sticks are cheap. Okay, you can get them from Amazon. I've never had problems with them. The only issue I have is if you're painting on something that is acrylic. For the first time ever in my life, my phone told me that I run out of room for the video. But anyway, if you're putting this on acrylic paint, you're going to need to put it on the paint and on the image. That's the only thing. That's the only thing I've noticed. Other than that, these are pretty solid glue sticks for just about anything. Another thing I really like is Elmer's glue in these little needle tip bottles. Oh, you just break the tip off like I just did. Way to go, me. These tips do stink. That's one thing I'll tell you. This is like the third or fourth tip that I've had this happen to, but I was able to put it back on. So I'm gonna just like, hey look, I have glue, let's just glue it on. We'll glue while we talk. So I like these needle tips because they don't leave the glue lines that wet glues will normally leave, okay? I had my nails done, so I can't pick anything up with my nails anymore. They don't leave the glue lines like other glues do, so I can use this on thicker images. You know, a lot of the National Geographics, the papers are thicker, so I glue them with this. And I use Aleene's for heavy stuff, not necessarily gluing images. And that's really it. That is really it. I like this because it's cheap on Amazon, and I buy my Elmer's glue by the gallon. I use things like these kids glue sticks, washable ones, because I have them. All right, I have a ton of kids glue sticks that I still use when I feel the urge. What other supplies do I use? I use a lot of paint. I use a lot of painty papers. I use a lot of I like mixed media stuff. I use a lot of you know, paint pens and glitter pens, metallic things, jelly prints. There is a blurry line between art journal and glue book for me. I like to add things to my books, and I like to add texture, and I like to add different types of mediums. Bonus advice for a newbie. The bonus question: what advice would I give a newbie? Well, you have, which I'm sure everybody has said, you have your social media, you have your YouTube, your Facebook, your Instagram, your Pinterest, that all have fabulous ideas, fabulous inspiration. But what you have to establish first, which is what got me started, is when you go through a book, you have to determine when you're flipping through that book if you like what you see in the book. You can't just say, oh hey, today I'm going to get into glue books, but never once look at a picture or, you know, a place, you know, an image of a place and say, oh my god, you know, I love it there. You have to enjoy the art of glue booking. You have to find what you like. You know, for instance, this motel sign is pretty cool. And you have to see it somewhere. Okay, you have to say to yourself, hey, you know what? I totally see that motel picture as a background, and I'll have a dog sitting on top or something. You know, you have to know that you'll use it, because you can collect images and you can collect words all day long, but if you don't apply them somewhere, you're just going to collect them. And let me tell you something, the collection is real. But it's very addicting, it's very relaxing, it's very enjoyable. I highly recommend that anybody who has a passion for visualization and for, you know, enjoying a pretty picture or enjoying a fun collage, to do it and to try it. I absolutely think that it is just a wonderful form of therapy and a wonderful form of art. And I have to nominate and tag another person, which was tough because I know a lot of amazing gluologists. You like that? A gluologist? But I think that one of my favorites who would be most likely to play along would be my friend Jeanne Baney. I found her a couple of years ago on YouTube, and she is so inspiring. And she does some great things with composition books and simple Dollar Tree items. And old books from thrift stores, and she does some amazing hauls from the Goodwill bins and from other thrift stores. I just love looking through her hauls, and I'm not usually a haul person. So, but I love Jeanne's hauls. So I'm going to nominate her to answer these questions, which are in the description below, Jeanne. And I cannot wait to see what you have to say. And I am also very grateful to everybody listed below who has participated. They are all so inspiring, and I am just so honored to be a part of this. So that's going to be it for now. And I think on that note, I am going to go glue some stuff. So ta-ta for now.